I also think that Marvel is on this journey now of they're trying a bunch of other stuff, and let's excited for them to see how all that goes. And it's hard to project.
Starting with the cult classic Howard the Duck in 1986, Hollywood has been turning Marvel Comics characters and stories into blockbuster hits that superhero fans love. But for every Marvel movie that makes it to the big screen, there are others that never get made. Some were delayed because the timing wasn't right, like with the hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, while others were canceled because their predecessors flopped like Fantastic 2. And that's not it. Trust me, there are plenty more Marvel projects that never saw the light of day. So let's take a journey through Marvel's canceled projects. Deadpool 3. Deadpool and Wolverine is set to be Deadpool's third solo movie and marks his official entry into the MCU. But some interesting details about Fox's early plans for Deadpool 3 have recently emerged. Karan Soni, who plays Dopinder, told Screen Rant that the original idea was a road trip movie where Deadpool was on a mission to save Christmas. He didn't give more specifics, but it's obvious that Deadpool's actual third film has taken a very different path. Daredevil 2, with Ben Affleck's 2003 portrayal of Matt Murdock getting mostly negative feedback from critics and audiences, it's no surprise Daredevil 2 never materialized. Instead, Elektra, played by Jennifer Garner, got her own spin-off, which wasn't well received either. The franchise's downfall was sealed when 20th Century Fox handed over the rights to Marvel Studios and Walt Disney Motion Picture Studios. Even if a sequel had been greenlit, Affleck might not have been keen to return. He's expressed regret over how the film turned out, and it's easy to see why. Luckily, Netflix's Daredevil series, starting in 2015, gave the character the justice it deserved, and it's now an integral part of the MCU. Silver Surfer. As Marvel's first superhero team, the Fantastic Four hold a special place in comic book history, but Fox's attempts to bring them to the big screen didn't go as planned. The sequel, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, was a flop with both critics and audiences, barely making back twice its budget. Before the sequel even hit theaters, Fox was already working on a solo spin-off for the Silver Surfer, a key Marvel character. However, once Rise of the Silver Surfer failed to perform well at the box office, the studio scrapped future plans, including the spin-off. Although fans were excited about the potential film, given the franchise's previous struggles, it might have been for the best. The Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. In 2021, fans enjoyed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, a standout martial arts film that quickly became one of the MCU's most rewatchable hits. What many don't know is that Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios' president, revealed that the studio had long wanted to make a Shang-Chi movie. Back in 2001, Stephen Norrington was slated to direct a Shang-Chi adaptation. The project faced several delays and revivals over the years, largely due to difficulties in securing funding, which is why The Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, never materialized. It wasn't until Simu Liu's fantastic portrayal of the character that fans finally got to see the long-awaited film, making the wait well worth it. Silver and Black. Black Cat and Silver Sable might not be the biggest names in the Marvel Universe, but for Spider-Man fans, they're pretty iconic. Black Cat is an anti-hero with a complicated romantic history with Spider-Man, while Silver Sable is a bounty hunter who's tangled with him a lot over the years. Even though they hadn't teamed up in the comics before, a film featuring both characters was announced in the late 2010s, alongside the first Venom with Tom Hardy, with Gina Prince Bythewood set to direct. Unfortunately, the movie ran into too many problems and was eventually scrapped. Sony then planned solo movies for each character, but those didn't happen either. So it looks like fans will have to keep waiting to see Black Cat and Silver Sable on the big screen. The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Although the Amazing Spider-Man movies starring Andrew Garfield in the title role were never as successful as the trilogy that came before them, they certainly had, and still have, their fair share of fans. Particularly as the amount of love for Garfield's portrayal grows, the canceled The Amazing Spider-Man 3 becomes more and more of a tragic figure in the pantheon of Marvel canceled movies. The first installment fared relatively well at the box office, but the second one didn't meet Sony's financial expectations. This and other issues led executives to cancel the planned threequel, fire Garfield from the role, and approach Marvel for the MCU plans that audiences are now familiar with. Sinister Six. Fans were buzzing with excitement when The Amazing Spider-Man 2 teased the arrival of the Sinister Six, a team of Spider-Man's most notorious villains. Even though the film didn't receive rave reviews at the time, the idea of seeing this villain team up on the big screen was pretty thrilling. Sony had big plans for their Spider-Man universe, including a Sinister Six movie directed by Drew Goddard. But after Andrew Garfield's second Spider-Man film didn't do well, and Sony shifted their strategy, the movie never came to be. As Sony's Spider-Man universe continues, there's still a chance for a Sinister Six adaptation, but with recent movies like Madam Web not exactly hitting the mark, fans might be second-guessing whether they still want it. X-Men Origins Magneto. Fox's X-Men from 2000 pretty much kickstarted the superhero movie craze in the 21st century. The franchise had its highs and lows, but one of its lowest points was X-Men Origins. Wolverine, which many consider one of the worst spin-off movies ever. There were plans to expand the X-Men Origins idea beyond Wolverine. One such project was a solo prequel for Magneto, exploring how he became the iconic villain portrayed by Ian McKellen. However, due to the poor reception of Wolverine, that movie never happened. On the bright side, audiences did get to see a younger Magneto played by Michael Fassbender, and it turned out great. So, even though this one got canceled, it had a happy ending in the end. Spider-Man 4. When it comes to canceled Marvel movies, few are as famous or as heartbreaking as this one. Spider-Man has been one of Marvel's coolest and most cherished characters since his creation, and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy elevated him to even greater heights, with many fans calling it one of the best movie trilogies ever. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man had two fantastic movies that were well received by both critics and audiences, but the third film didn't quite hit the mark, even though it did well at the box office. Raimi was disappointed with how Spider-Man 3 turned out and aimed to make the fourth film the best yet. Unfortunately, the script never came together, and Sony decided to reboot the franchise instead. X-23, Logan was a game-changer in superhero films and arguably James Mangold's finest work, offering a powerful and emotional goodbye to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Daphne Keene's portrayal of X-23, a girl made from Logan's DNA who joins him on his final journey, was both nuanced and endearing, leading many fans to wish for more of her character. There were talks of a spin-off film focusing on X-23, but it's widely believed that the Disney-Fox deal likely led to the project's cancellation. With years passing and no updates, it seems that unfortunate circumstances might have been the reason this Marvel movie never came to be. Fantastic 2. Nobody expected much from Fantastic Four, but it still managed to let fans down with its messy story, dull tone, and lackluster take on a team that should be entertaining and fun. It's tough to get Marvel movies canceled, but a movie that's widely considered one of the worst of the 2010s can definitely make that happen. The film fell short in almost every way, so it was no surprise when Fox announced that plans for a sequel were scrapped. With the MCU's version of the team now in the works, fans are hopeful that this new take will be a big improvement over the previous attempts. Gambit has been a big topic for years, but he's had a hard time making it to the big screen. After his debut in X-Men Origins Wolverine, Channing Tatum was keen on giving Gambit his own solo film. Multiple attempts at the movie were reported, but they fell apart due to script and scheduling issues. One version written by Josh Zetchemer came the closest to being made, but nothing materialized. Recently, Gambit appeared in the MCU in Deadpool and Wolverine, and fans have embraced him. Hopefully, this could lead to a new standalone project for him in the MCU. I would really like to see that one day. Let me know out of these which one you would love to see in the Threader if they got made. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.